Now we're going to talk about searching for articles. You're probably pretty good at searching online. We go to Google, we put in something like, should teachers offer extra credit in a college class? And we hit enter and we get an AI overview. We get some arguments for or against. Then we start getting all of these websites. The problem with searching with Google is we get a ton of stuff. And we see that we have to go through a bunch of garbage in order to get to anything of quality. We don't want to use Quora. We don't want to use the AI information. Okay, so we have to filter through a lot of stuff. Instead, we want to search through library databases. Now, a lot of library databases require what's called a Boolean search. So that's what we're going to learn about now. So in order to do a Boolean search, we're going to create a Boolean search string. So a search string is just the group of words you use to search for something. So a Boolean search string consists of four parts. We have the keywords. These are going to be the main words which you're going to use within that search string. We have synonyms. Sometimes our keywords will have synonyms that we want to use. Boolean searches are very picky. So in Google, we might put in colleges and it will use colleges or universities. Boolean won't do that. We need to actually select that synonym. Then we have truncation. We want to shorten the word to the root so that we get things like teacher and teachers. Again, Boolean searching is extremely specific. So if you put in teachers, it might not bring up articles that only use teacher. Then the last one are our operators. The operators are a way of combining these terms in the best way to filter what you're looking for. So let's go to first keywords. If I'm asking the question of whether teachers should offer extra credit in a college class, normally I would just look at the main words of my subject, put it into Google. But here I want to suggest just starting with 3 keywords. We can add more later or we can take some off if needed. But I like to start with 3 because that gives me the best number of articles usually, or at least it's a good place to start. Also, you want to avoid putting in words like benefits or drawbacks because this could slant your research. So if you put in benefits, try it again with drawbacks so that you get both sides of the argument. Also, if we want to narrow our search, so if we're getting 1,000,000 articles, we want to narrow that, we can add another keyword and that will narrow. And then before removing keywords, so if you need to expand that list, you're only getting 1 or 2, instead of removing keywords, try some synonyms first. Let's look at the keywords that I would use for this topic. Should teachers offer extra credit in a college class? The 3 keywords I'm going to use are teacher, extra credit, and I use that as one term, and then college. So after my keywords, I need to move to my synonyms. So I have the word teacher. What are some synonyms? We can look at professor, especially in a college setting, or instructor. Extra credit, the only synonym I could really think of is bonus points. So I might leave that in as a synonym. If you can't think of a synonym, you don't have to put in anything else. You can just leave it as that one word. And then college, I thought of university, if I want to cover both of those. Now we move to truncation. So truncation, that's when we reduce a word to the root of all the shared letters with other words. So if I put in teacher, I might not get articles that only have the word teach, or teaches, or teachers. I want to get all of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put teach, because all of these words share those letters, and then I put an asterisk to say any letter that comes after the H. That way we'll get teacher or teachers. Another example, if I'm looking at university, I want university and universities. So what letters do they have in common? All the way up to the T, and then I put that asterisk to say, bring up anything with any letters after the T. Now we do have to be careful with these. If I have city and I want cities or city, and I truncate it after the T, I'm also going to get citation, citadel, and citizen. So that one doesn't really work with the truncation. Same as if I'm looking up cat or cats and I put CAT, asterisk, I'm going to get words like categories, catalyst, and catch, which are pretty common. Catch is pretty common. So you're going to get a lot of articles that you don't want. Therefore, if you have words like this, it's better to use them as synonyms. I can put either city or cities or town, either cat or cats or feline. Then we move to our operators. So we have three that we're going to talk about. We have and, or not. What and does is it combines two set of keywords. So I'm looking for college or university, and I'm looking for extra credit or bonus points, and I'm looking for teacher or teachers. So it's combining these three together so that I start with every article that has the word teacher. And then I say it also has to have, and this is the and, it also has to have university. And it also has to have extra credit. And so what I'm doing is I'm narrowing that search to just the articles I'm looking for. Or we'll combine your synonyms into one set of keywords. So if I'm looking for college or university, this is putting it as one set, but it's saying you can have either college, teacher, and extra credit, or you could have university, teacher, and extra credit. And then we have not. This will eliminate words that you don't want. So if I'm looking up giving extra credit in a college class and I get a lot of stuff from high schools, I might put not high school. And that way it will eliminate those articles. So let's practice. What we're going to do is we're going to move to the one file database, which makes this process pretty easy. Once we're there, you can see how these operators work. That will be in the next video.